In many Andean cultures, there's a strong emphasis on surroundings, but not just to appreciate the view. It's believed many of their mountains once were and still are regarded as lords, or, colloquially speaking, Apu. There are many oral folk tales from this region discussing the gender specified mountains, typically male, but there's one Bolivian story in particular that describes how their great ancestors were reanimated from their stone forms and fought, throwing massive boulders at each other, much like the iconic scene from The Hobbit.
This is no thunderstorm! It's a thunder battle!
Blasphemy! The legends are true! Giants! Stone giants!
What's so fascinating is this was one explanation used for why so many boulders and monoliths sprinkled their lands. This one small tale amongst the many proves that these boulders demanded attention from the people, hence the many folktales in the region regarding certain stones. The Bolivian tale differs from those of Machu Picchu, but we now have a glimpse into the widespread awe held in the concept of stone alone. At the northernmost section of Machu Picchu lies the very well-known Sacred Rock. For the Incas, not every boulder was important, but they did categorize them by different names depending on function. By function, I mean how the rock would perform its purpose. Rather than having immediately recognizable shrines, rivers, mountains, streams, rocks, and other naturally occurring areas were held sacred. In a modern Quechua song discovered in 1975 concerning destruction of land for urbanization, the only concern of the song was for their boulders being destroyed. Nothing else held the same level of importance. Poor rock, poor boulders, they would sing. So we have to ask why. Why were the boulders so important? Specific boulders and mountains were venerated as their petrified deities. These mountains and monoliths were viewed as the original owners of the territory. Of the 122 huacas at the Machu Picchu site, the sacred rock can be termed as an echo stone. An echo stone is either naturally shaped or artificially carved so that it resembles a natural land feature. The sacred rock employs visual mimesis, allowing for the rock to resemble and embody a mountain beyond human habitation. Standing at over 9 feet tall with a length of about 22 feet, the sacred rock is also carefully framed by a short rectangular masonry fence and sits towards the edge of a small open courtyard with 2 small huts on either side of the courtyard. The framing around the sacred rock leads us to conclude that this was believed to be a place of origin. The rock is a presentation of the emergence of itself from the inner world of the ancestral spirits to our world. These huacas aren't meant to be a reminder of the past. In many Andean cultures, they're actually deities themselves. These stones are thought to have the essence of what they're identified with, meaning they are the embodiment of a certain deity or ancestor, even if they don't demonstrate an aesthetic replica of them. They are to be treated as gods, because the Incan culture believed that the skin could be petrified, and, should they need to call upon their gods for help, they can easily be animated once again. In our case of the sacred rock at the base of Huayana Picchu, with the Yanantin mountain peak almost but not quite in alignment with our echo stone, this rock is supposed to be the embodiment of the mountain itself. The uninhabitable mountain is too large to be controlled. So, in the Incan way of maintaining control, they could pray to and near this huaca. It's closely associated with apacheras, areas people pray to when they're weary on a trip, in hopes for safe passage and travel. The sacred rock is near the narrow path that leads up to Huayana Picchu, which is why it serves as an ideal place to pray and give offerings.